Hey everybody, it's Dave Brow, and I'm back with Sean, and we're just here to give you a update on the real estate market in Fort Wayne. Sean has some questions for me. Sean, take it away.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, David. Like you said, we're going to briefly discuss the Fort Wayne real estate market. I got 6 questions to ask you. The
Okay.
first one being, is it a buyer's or a seller's market right now?
It is definitely still a seller's market in Fort Wayne. There's a shift going on for sure. Um, and I think that the last 2 years we've seen just um, uh, incredible instances where houses are coming on the market that are selling very, very fast with many offers on them. I think we're still going to have that, but it is shifting towards more of a normal market, which is good. It's good for everybody. We wanted more listings across the country, and then we wanted them not to sell as fast so that everybody got an opportunity to see them. So it's a good thing. So yeah, it's a seller's market, but it's shifting more towards a balanced market for sure.
Okay. So what does the current housing inventory look like right now?
Right now in Fort Wayne, we're at about a 1.7 month inventory, so supply of inventory. That's down like 13% since last year. So we do have a shrinking inventory in Fort Wayne for sure. So a month supply of inventory means that if no more houses were listed in our market, how long would it take for the market just to buy up the rest of inventory? So that would be 1.7 months. That's still super low. Like a healthy market, they say, is about 2 to 3 months. So we're still, very shortage of inventory in our market. So we've got a lot of buyers at our company. I know, all other brokerages have it too, and we're just waiting for new houses to come on the market. I think we're seeing probably about 10 houses a day in our MLS. That's not enough. We've got 3 times that amount of buyers that are just waiting. So, yep.
Okay. So given how the current inventory is, how is that affecting the values of homes in your area?
Home values in Fort Wayne, they're continuing to rise. In 2018, we saw about a 9% appreciation. In 2019, everybody that I am studying, they're saying that we should see about a 6% rise in appreciation in our area. Nationally, that's about a 4.5% rise. So obviously, the smaller the inventory, that's going to affect the prices. So we are definitely by no means seeing a depreciating market. It's just a slower appreciating market, but the prices are definitely rising for sure.
Okay. And along those lines, what do the interest rates look like right now?
Right now, I think the last interest rate I saw was at 4.5%. So that's actually really good. People a year ago, I know, thought at this time that they're going to be a lot higher than that, like 5.5, 6%. They've actually taken this is like the 4th consecutive week in a row, or 4th consecutive week where they've dropped. And I think it's like a 3-month trend where they have dropped. So it's not what I expected, and certainly not what the market gurus were telling us. But the interest rates historically are incredibly low. So they might not be as low as they were when your cousin bought a house a year ago, but they're definitely a lot lower than when your brother bought a house 10 years ago, your parents bought a house 20 years ago, and your grandparents bought a house 40 years ago. So historically, they're super low. It's really a great time to get a loan. Money's relatively cheap right now, so interest rates are good. They're supposed to trend up this year. We'll see if that really happens, but they're supposed to go up to another full percentage point. We'll just see how that goes, though.
Okay, great. So what would you say that all of this information means for buyers and sellers on a whole?
On a whole, I think that you know what, I would break it down into three kind of groups of people. So you have your first-time buyers. Those are typically renters, or they're staying with mom and dad in their basement. You have your move-up buyers. These are people who own a home currently, but they need more space as their family's growing. And then you have your downsizers. So these are people who are retiring. They're empty nesters. They don't need as much space. They don't want to maintain the home. They typically want to move into a condo or a ranch. So what I would say to the first-time buyers, I would say stop giving your landlord income and get into a house. Most of the millennials I read, their biggest concerns, or what they look for the most, is to save for retirement. Number two is they want to own a home, and number three, they want to get married, in that order. So owning a home takes care of number two, because one of your best investments is just owning real estate. If you're appreciating right now at 6% a year, you need a place to live in anyways. So it just makes sense from that standpoint. And then another thing that a renter, you're going to have to pay the cost of. We sometimes hear renters say, I don't want to pay to fix toilets. I don't want to pay for maintenance on my home. You're paying that. If you don't think your landlord's not charging you those things and your rent, you're crazy. So the only thing you're not paying for when you own a home, you're not paying for the landlord's profit. So to the first-time buyers, I would say get out there and start talking to people, talking to lenders, realtors, what it's going to take to buy a house. And I will say this to you, you do not have to put 20% down. A lot of people think that they have to get 20% equity saved up in order to buy a house. This is simply not true. There's some zero down programs, 3%, 5%, and they move up from there. For the move up buyers, I think a lot of people were concerned about finding a suitable house to move into. So they weren't really worried about selling their house. They were worried about finding a place to move into with their young family. So I think a lot of people have been doing remodels to their homes. They've been looking into putting additions on, adding square footage. And to them, I would say that it costs a lot more money typically to add new square footage to a home than it does to buy a house, a resale house with the same amount of square footage. So I would tell them to definitely look into the market. It's still, obviously, rates are low. If you hold out a couple more years, I'm not sure where the interest rates are going to be. I can pretty confidently tell you they're not going to be at 4.5%. And then holding out a couple years, the values are going to be 10, 15, 20% higher possibly. So if you're going to make a move for more space, if you need more space, I would definitely be looking into buying a bigger house. And then for the people who are downsizing, I understand a lot of people that stage of life, they have a substantial amount of equity in their home, so they might not need a loan. But definitely a good option is to look into moving now rather than waiting for just a greater appreciation. So then obviously you can take advantage of the urgent buyers. There's not a lot of houses on the market right now, as we talked about. So really all segments of the market, it really does make sense. And we try to just, people come to us and they're in different stages, and they just kind of want to know what the best thing to do for their situation is. And that's kind of how we advise them, is just look at the interest rates, look at the absorption rates, kind of seeing where the market is going. The market is definitely going up in 2019.
Okay, great. A lot of good information there. So let's say somebody's looking to move now and they want to sell their home and they want to find out what the value of their home is. How would you recommend that they go about doing that?
You can start, if you just want to get on your computer, you can go to fortwaynehomevalues.com. Type in your address. It's going to give you a high-low range of your value. It's a computer algorithm based upon sales, so it's not perfect, but it's going to give you a pretty good idea. And if you want to nail down a much a much stronger value, call us or call your favorite realtor, and we'll come out to your house and we'll give you a full evaluation with the CMA, all that.
Okay. Awesome. Well, this has been a lot of great information. Hopefully anybody watching, if they had the same questions, you were able to answer those effectively. So is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I just, that's it. I just hope everybody has a great 2019, and I hope I can see a lot of you this year.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on today, David, and looking forward to next time.
Thanks, Sean. Have a good one.
You too. Thanks.